Coach, the decision to start Jacob on opening day?
Yeah. I mean, you're talking one of the elite pitchers in the game. We're excited about announcing this. I know it's an honor for him. You know how humble he is, and so he's on schedule to go opening day. Early. We had to hold him back a little bit, but we think he's good to go. We have the day off after opening day, so we can cover him. We're not looking for him to take us real deep in the game or anything. So this just makes all the sense in the world to us.
So, how many pitches?
I probably can answer that better after his next one, but we'll see.
How many pitches is he supposed to throw tomorrow?
We could probably get him up somewhere, I'd say, around the 4-inning area. You're looking at 60, 65, somewhere in there. Don't hold me to that, but that's right now it's just busy with all these cuts, so I haven't had a chance to sit down with Greg and talk about tomorrow, or Mike.
Yeah, get your Maddoxes straight. Do we have some cuts we want to announce?
We have a couple releases. We did release Reyes Maranta and Joe McCarthy. We just didn't have room for them, so we're letting them explore, other chances to make a team. We did inform a couple guys that right now they will not be breaking with us. It doesn't mean that can't change from this point until opening day. Sasugo and Frazier.
Anything on the rest of the rotation after deGrom?
Right now, Perez is scheduled to go to third game, and Eovaldi will follow deGrom.
Did you guys consider Perez for opening day based on what he did last year?
Yeah, you have to honor that, what he did, and so. But the way it's lined up, getting back and where we have them, we just decided to put them in the third game.
And
having that day off after the first game plays a part in that. Martin's a little more stretched out, so we'll have him going at least 90 in his game.
How do you slot Gray and Heaney?
Looking at right now, Gray won the fourth game. And Heaney.
So it's important for you guys to break up deGrom, Eovaldi, and Gray. You didn't want 3 straight hard throwing.
It makes sense, right? You're breaking up the lefties and the righties, so that's a big part of the reason.
Spring been like for you relative to springs past?
Fun. I mean, obviously first big league camp, so I mean it's exciting. All the new guys, getting to meet all the new guys, hang out with them, get to know them. It's been fun.
What did last year's experience, how did that help you prepare for what you're headed into?
I feel like it helps just in the sense of know what to expect in a sense, with who I'm facing, just how I need to prepare, that kind of stuff. I feel like it helped in that sense.
How do you feel like you've performed? It seems like the reviews have been pretty positive.
I mean, I've definitely had my ups and downs. Started off, I felt pretty good. Last couple outings, I've had a few rough innings here and there, but I mean, see what happens.
How do you feel in a bullpen role? How do you feel about that? Where do you feel like your strengths lie?
I don't mind it at all. I mean, wherever I can help the team win, I'm open to it. I feel like obviously it's different, but definitely I think I've thrown in relief 3 or 4 times this spring, and it's a little different of a routine, but I mean, kind of 2 separate routines when it comes to starting and relieving. But I feel like I'm starting to have a routine when I'm in the bullpen and have a routine when I'm starting.
Do you feel like you do have to change that mindset though, because you don't have the longer runway that you do when you're a starter?
100%. You just kind of have to know, all right, I should start getting loose. Just do little things in between each inning. That way, when it's hey, you need to get hot, I'm ready. I'm not sitting there just cold, not loose. Like I'm already loose. All I have to do really is pick up the baseball and start throwing.
Even to in game, like, you know, because I feel like there's kind of a tendency to pace yourself a little bit more as a starter, where you just kind of let it go as a reliever.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to. I feel like as a reliever, you have to be careful to like not let it speed up on you as quick, just because like things can happen super quick. So it's more so just finding the little things that kind of help you slow the game down, like whether it's, you know, if it's turn around and look at the outfield, like I feel like that's helped me. Turn around, look at the outfield, take a deep breath, get back on the mound. Like if I have to take 5 seconds and I only have, you know, 10 or 15 instead of 15 or 20, like that's all right. Like we'll go from there.
And then finally, what is, you know, the new guys obviously beefed up this pitching staff in the offseason with the acquisitions. What kind of a resource have they been for you? What has that chemistry been like for you guys as a staff?
All of them are awesome. I mean, talk to them about whatever. I've talked to Evo a lot about like the mechanical side of things, like pitching, all that. I mean, just hanging out with them, you know, whether it's not even, we might not even be talking about baseball. It's just like getting to know the guys. They're awesome.
Done. Home stretch. How's this season been different from last? It was so condensed last season. It was your first year. Has this one been better?
Yeah, a lot. You know, just the comfortability level of knowing the new organization, knowing everybody, not being the new guy. That all plays a hand of it.
When you look at what they added, obviously offensive pieces last season, this season, off-season, definitely devoted to pitching. Yep. As a position player, what does that do for you guys?
It's awesome. You know, going out there every day and expecting to win and having a chance to win it's a good feeling.
For Bruce Bochy coming out of retirement, I mean, you've got to feel like that's a special situation for y'all to be able to have him, considering all that he's done. What kind of a presence has he brought?
He's been great. You know, he didn't need to, and he wanted to, and that just makes it even better. You know, he saw what we were building here and wanted to be a part of it, and that's awesome to hear.
For you, how big is the shift being gone? I mean, you've obviously riding a hot streak in spring training. Do you notice it? Do you try not to think about it, or do you feel like it's a nice little bullet in your gun?
Yeah, I try and not notice it when you're hitting, and then obviously when it does squeak through over there, it's a lot happier. It's still getting a little used to it on the defensive side, but on the offense side, it's definitely been good.
You didn't seem to pitch with your fastball a bunch tonight.
I mean, so the first inning, I felt like I located the first pitch, and then I went inside, and it was a big miss. You know, I felt like I had a lot of big misses today, which tells me there was a little something mechanically off, but I was expecting them to come out being aggressive in that first inning, and they didn't. And then the second inning, they came out aggressive like I was expecting. But that's that's one of my weapons, is having multiple pitches that I can rely on. And again, if I got runners on base, I'm not necessarily going for the strikeouts, but I'm going for the double play balls and trying to limit my pitches and be able to go out there and go deep. And I'm not sure how many pitches I threw in the first, maybe 16 or 17. And, you know, I knew my limit today was around 60, and I was trying to go at least 5 innings. So I felt like I was having some control issues, and I needed to get back into my mechanics. And, even with starting out with Andrus, some of my splitters were up and in on him, and I know if I'm pushing that pitch, you know, my mechanics, I'm rushing towards the plate, and it's all over the place. So I was able to settle down in the second inning, drop some first pitch off-speed pitches in there, and again, if I can locate my off-speed, I can get the fastball back on track.
So, I'm just going on velocities and based on your previous numbers. So what did you pitch predominantly with today?
I would say the splitter. I used a lot of splitters and cutters today, which I had worked on the cutter in between. I wanted to work on that. Curveballs were good. I used more sliders, I think, in this outing than I have, going back in a while. So I think I threw 4 or 5, and that felt pretty good. There were, obviously I know what I need to work on, and there's a lot of it. But at the same time, with the team like the White Sox that are being aggressive during spring training, being aggressive on the base paths, it was a good spring training outing for me to be able to go out there and work around some damage, limit the damage.
What did you strike out Andrus on?
The slider.
That was the slider,
okay. Yeah.
But you only threw 4 or 5 of
them. I gave up the double off the wall to Eovaldi on that one, and then I think I threw Andrus 2 more prior to that, and maybe it was just 4. I don't know.
As an Arizona fly ball, the double.
It is what it is, though. It's a double, and we were able to get out of it.
You didn't throw a ton of, based on Fangraphs numbers, you didn't throw a ton of cutters last year, correct?
I would say I threw a fair share. I like to attack the lefties in there with it. I wanted to work on going back door with it a little bit more. I didn't get the opportunity to really front door any righties. I'll front door righties when I feel the time's right. But it's one of the weapons I use a lot going in on lefties.
So have you thrown since that outing?
But I throw a long bullpen.
A long
after that,
bullpen. So you feel like, I guess the one question I have on that is, do you feel like you lost any ground in terms of?
No, I'll be ready for tomorrow. I got a game tomorrow, and I don't know how many pitches I go, but I feel good. My arm feels good, and I think tomorrow we're just gonna continue to build out for the season.
So you'll be?
Yeah, I'll be good.
You got a minor league game tomorrow.
Yes, at 9. Yeah.
What time?
7.
Oh, at night?
Mhm.
Oh, shit. What, yeah, when you say long bullpen, how many did you throw?
Like 40,
40?
40, 45, yeah, something like that.
Martín, like I think back on it, right? And you smother the Dominican, and it's such a big game. And then Team USA, like how high versus how low were you?
I was fine. I think they don't hit the ball hard against me. I think they just find the holes, We play with the Chief, and they hit the ball to the holes. But I feel okay. I think I throw my pitches, and, they hit the pitch that I throw. I think I was locating really good. And, nothing you can do when you look at a pitch and they hit it.
So what was the overall experience like?
Good. I mean, good energy. Play for Venezuelan team is amazing, especially when you have a lot of fans from your country. And, you got all those supporters and all your families watching you. And I think all the world's watching you, what you've been doing. So for me, it was a good experience.
Would you do it again?
Yes. Yeah, hopefully I'll be, part of this organization and, can go again. Yeah, I mean, just gotta take care of your body and, be ready for next one.
How would you describe that? How would you describe the emotions of Venezuela versus the Dominican?
I think.
You ever played in a bigger game?
Yeah, I think I control my emotions really good. Hold the game in the second inning and.
But the overall emotions.
Yeah, I mean, I think that kind of tournament that's what you need to do. Control your emotion, because something can happen, really quick. And I think what I did with the emotions and control the game, hold the game in the second inning, and we came back and we scored runs, and I think that was the key for that inning or for that game. Hold the game against Dominican and give a chance to the relievers to come in and do their job too. Was a great experience for me.
Was it crazy there?
Yes.
Huh.
A lot of people. I mean, I remember in 2021, we played game 163 against Yankees in Boston, and it was big for me, but this World Baseball Classic was crazy, with a lot of fans and a lot of Venezuelan people. Say a lot of things, but we know how is our fans, and we're okay with that.
Do you need your last outing to be like kind of a dress rehearsal for that?
Thank you.
I'm not entirely sure. I feel like I can do it. I feel like I have the capability of being able to come out of the pen quickly, and I'm not. We'll find out. I feel like I can do it, though.
Is being in a relief role like riding a bike? Like, it's easy to kind of go back, or do you have to like get yourself used to it?
I mean, you definitely have to get used to it, because you got to be used to being up multiple times, because you can get like called to pitch, and the starter gets out of the inning, and it's like, all right, you got to sit back down. The next inning, same thing happens. You throw some more, so you kind of got to get used to it. Because as a starter, you start, and then the other 5 days, or 4 days, you just kind of check out a little bit. It's bad to say that, but that's kind of what happens. I try to use my time.
Honesty is appreciated.
Yeah, I try to use my time for other purposes to help our team, but no, starting and relieving definitely have pretty different roles. So
it'll take some getting used to, but I think I feel like I can do it.
Is that something at all, you haven't like asked, like, if you're going to use me this way, can we do this once before we get out of here?
I have not, no.
Okay.
I've been, they've kind of just told me, like, all right, you got to bullpen this day. I'm like, all right. And then you got to start this day. All right. I've been, this whole purpose, at least for me this spring, is just trying to work on, like, body mechanics, pitch shapes, stuff like that. And obviously being comfortable on the mound.
Was the last time you relieved for any consistent time in college?
Yeah. I think I had like 30 or 30-something appearances, I think. Yeah, I was strictly out of the pen in college. And then I would start like a midweek game, and then weekends was out of the pen.
Very SEC.
Not your junior.
Yeah, that was my junior year.
Was it wrong?
Yeah, I was bullpen guy my junior year.
Are you?
We were stacked.
Are you older than Brady Singer?
Yes, he was a freshman when I was a junior. Yeah, and then we had some. That was like Zanino, like just left before I came in too. It was like 2 years before me.
Just about today's outing, I know you said kind of death by 1,000 cuts a little bit there. But
Yeah.
How did you feel as a whole?
I felt good. I felt like I located well, not great. And they definitely capitalized on my mistakes that I had. I left a few changeups up. They put some good swings on it. I thought Jose Ramirez did a really good job staying on a not backdoor sinker, but sinker away. And he put a really good hard swing on it. And then Naylor cheated to the cutter in first pitch, and he put a good swing on it. We kind of pitched him backwards his first at bat, so we went hard to start him off his second, and he was sitting for it. But as a whole, they kind of just they stayed with their approach the whole time. They try to kind of inside out me. Righties try to shoot me to right field, and lefties try to. I think for the most part, they're trying to stay on time of the cutter. They kind of left the sinkers alone for the most part, but I thought they did a really good job with their approach.
Felt good. Slider was good. Didn't locate the fastball quite like I wanted to. The Kellenic triple was trying to go down, left it up a little bit, but other than that, I felt like I threw the ball pretty well.
Nobody wants to make too much out of a spring start, but we'll go ahead and do it anyway because it's just what we do. But there was going to be some buzz about your first spring start out here. Do you feel like you kind of gave people a nice view of who Jacob deGrom is?
Yeah, I felt like I threw the ball well. Spring during the season, the goal is to try to put up 0. So, that's what I was trying to do out there today. And second batter of the game, give up a triple. Then I'm like, okay, let's leave him there. And that's what I was trying to do. You're also trying to work on things, but that gives you a real taste. And it was good to be in a real game and have to bear down there and make pitches to the 3 and 4 hitters.
You hit 100 a couple of times. I mean, dumb question, but were you really able to cut loose for a while?
Yeah, like I said, once all that was behind me, the little bit of a side issue, I felt really good. So, the ball's been coming out good, been working on some mechanical things, and, I'm constantly looking at how to improve my delivery. So, felt like I was pretty smooth, and, that's for me, when I stay smooth and try not to do too much, it seems to come out better. So that's mainly what I was focusing on today, trying to stay smooth and locate.
I checked. You didn't look like you went down and threw more pitches.
No, I didn't throw more today.
Okay.
I was not tracking the first 2 innings, but I just think keeping track. Did you only throw 2 balls in the first 2 innings? Everything else was strikes?
Well, I wasn't keeping track of the first 2 innings either.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Yes.
That's the answer?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There you go.
Just asked.
20 or 22.
Okay. Well, I wasn't sure.
Last week of spring training, now you've thrown, Eovaldi's thrown, just about everybody except Odorizzi has thrown. Just how on schedule does it all feel now?
Yeah, it feels like we're on schedule, getting ready to start the season. So get out there one more time and really work on some things, build up the pitch count a little more, and, get ready to start the regular season and see what happens then. That's what this is for, getting ready for that. And, now that everybody's fallen into the rotation, it feels like we're getting close and everybody's excited.
Now that you've worked with these guys, how impressive is this group now that you've been here a month?
Yeah, it's been impressive. Great group of guys to be around. I've enjoyed it. Finally actually out there today was definitely,
boost the excitement.
You went back-to-back with a couple of, like 84, 85s. Those were with curveballs?
Curveballs, yeah.
Okay, that was for the strikeout, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you have, I don't know how much time you spend on, probably none, but do you have any sense of the pitching history of this organization?
A little bit. You know, not a whole lot, but, you know.
What is your sense of a pitching history?
I mean, I know Nolan Ryan pitched here, so is that what you're getting to?
No. What I'm getting at is that this rotation has the ability to be really good, and this organization has not had great rotations for a long time. And I feel like there's a fan base here that's going to be really focused on this pitching staff for the first time in a long time. I don't think you guys think about that, but I'm just wondering if you've got any observations about it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, when you go out there and, you know, being around these guys, they view it the same way. You go out there and you try to put up zeros and put our team in a position. And the stuff that all these guys are doing in between to get ready, we're excited. You know, we have high expectations for ourselves and want to go out there and try to live up to those and, like I said, put us in a position to win. That's our goal. Go as long as you can, hand the ball over to the next guy, and hope you left your team in that position.
How did the pitch clock feel with live bullets flying today?
Yeah, you know, that's fine. My one start on the backfield, it was going so, and then I did some research on it based on, you know, kind of how I worked before. There was one time where I came set, runner on first, where I came set before I had a sign, but, you know, it's with the pitch comments getting said in your ear so you can still agree. So that's, you know, kind of the only thing. That was the one time that was kind of, the clock was running down. I think I had 7 seconds. Mitch was still putting down signs. I just went ahead and came set and then gave him the yes. And was, you know, that's kind of the only adjustment I really had to make.
Feel like you'll be able to play some games with the hitters with that pitch clock this year?
Yeah, I think you'll be able to. You know, the long holds, you know, if a guy's in there with 15 seconds, nobody wants to stand there that long. So you'll be able to hold the ball a long time. You know, sometimes you can pitch with the 15 seconds left or hold till it's at 1. So you can use it in your advantage, I think.
First homer of the spring, I mean, how are you really feeling at the plate right now?
Well, I mean, first 2 at-bats not great, and then, you know, hit a home run. So it just shows how baseball is. I'm really excited to play consecutive days so we can just get more rhythm and stuff. But, you know, over my career, I really haven't hit a lot of home runs in spring. It kind of comes, you know, the more I hit. So I'll take that today.
Corey talked about this the other day when we talked to him, just about being more comfortable in the clubhouse this year. Obviously, the lockout was one big thing, but just being the new guy, you're kind of just used to everything now. How is that having an effect on you?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like year 2, you know, where you're familiar with everybody. You know, from a position standpoint, everybody's pretty much back. You know, we added Robbie, somebody I played with, but for the most part, everybody's back. So it's really just getting to know the pitchers and the new veteran guys, and you know, just playing as one.
You're the one guy who wants to play 3 straight, 6 out of 7, right? I mean, that's important to you.
Yeah, that's coming. I think we got 1 more week. You know, that those opportunities will come next week. You know, Bochy knows exactly, you know, what he wants to do for us. You know, we've talked about it, and, you know, going into opening day, you want to feel as confident as you can feel.
But it's important for you too. I mean, because you talk about rhythm and.
Yeah, I mean, you talk to anybody, they want to, you know, get at bats every single day, especially when, you know, you're getting closer and closer to doing that in games that matter. So for the most part, I've been feeling good. But once we get more at bats under our belt, I think we'll all be better.
Outside of rhythm, is there anything specifically you want to work on, get done in these last 10 days?
Just produce runs. It's always produce runs, score runs, execute with runners on base, get on base. I do want to try and get on base and run a little bit. You know, I've only had probably 1 stolen base attempt, so got to get on base to do that.
I feel good.
Yeah. How does this spring training compare to the past ones, considering where you're coming off of the injury?
Completely different.
Yeah.
I've never had off-season surgery. I've never had really kind of any surgery like that. So just working my strength back up, working up the stamina, trying to just explore where we're at and see, you know, how the body feels on a day-to-day basis.
How has it been so far? Do you feel like it's responding well?
It is. My throws are strong. Elbow feels good. We're dealing with a little bit of soreness. days after I catch, so that's just something that we have to take care of, but it's totally normal according to the doctor.
For you, how do you manage those expectations considering that this is kind of a place you've never been before?
I look at it as a place of, I got Jonah here. And where he's come in his career and where he's at right now, I mean, it takes a lot of pressure off of me because I am coming back from injury, and it's not like I have to press forward to try to do more because I have, a great partner, and he's going to be doing a lot of the playing time as well.
Obviously, last season, off-season, this team added a lot of offensive weapons now with the pitching staff and the guys that they brought in. What does that do for you, not only as a catcher, but just as a teammate?
Well, I mean, it's something we needed. We needed some pitching reinforcements. We needed some veteran people in this clubhouse. And, we brought them in. So far, it's been great. The guys have been awesome. A lot of talent in here and a lot of experience, too.
Going so far in camp, it feels like it's kind of, we're getting toward that, 2 weeks basically till opening day. How are you feeling? What's your experience been like thus far?
Yeah, it's been a great experience. Body's feeling good. I think we're in a good spot as a team. It's one of those things coming over, and this is my first year in the organization. It's been an easy adjustment. CY, Bochy, the whole front office did a good job of bringing good clubhouse guys in here, so the transition's been pretty easy for me.
How much do you just try to focus on what you're doing, and is it hard not to pay attention to, well, this guy's doing this and this guy's doing that, and that guy might be hurt, and this might open up a door for me? How do you kind of balance all of that?
Yeah, for me, it's control what you can control. I think earlier in my career, you start thinking about those things, try to play the front office, but it never bodes well, and you're never right. So it's one of those things where go out, play, do everything you can, and if it's in the cards, it's in the cards. If not, you go where they want you to go, and you keep playing as hard as you can, and hopefully something opens up.
And for you at this point in your career, do you try to take kind of that same mentality where, there are things out of your control, and how do you balance that with the expectations you set for yourself?
Yeah, for me, it's one of those things that you're going to have your ups and downs. You're going to go through your slumps. It's inevitable. Even the best hitters in the game go through slumps. It's really trusting your routine, trusting that the hitting coaches, know that your routine works for you, and, maybe you manipulate some things here and there, but kind of play with the cards that got you here and do the best you can.
Today.
It was all right.
Yeah.
Not the best, but it was good to get 2 innings in for the first time and feel how that was again, like it was last year, and just get that under my belt.
I know last off season when you kind of the physique kind of changed, the diet changed, all that kind of stuff.
I wouldn't say diet, but
How is this off season different from last year? How does it compare?
it was the same. I just tried to do the same exact thing to get ready. It felt like it was good last year, so I just tried to do the same exact thing as this year and try to stay healthy to get ready for this year.
As you continue to get more time at this level, how do you adjust your expectations from season to season and even within a season?
It's hard. I had a very successful year last year, and at the end of the year, obviously, some things didn't go as well as I wanted, so I'd probably just, the only thing I want to think for this upcoming year is to finish stronger than I did last year.
And what are the things that you feel like you can do to learn from that, to, like you said, better prepare yourself for that, to finish stronger?
Just stay on the same routine the whole time and make sure I do the same thing every day, even when things are dragging at the end of the year, and not let up and make sure I finish strong.
How exciting is it for you guys knowing the pieces that were added not only last offseason, but this offseason, and kind of the way that it appears, at least on paper, this thing is coming together?
We look really good, and in person so far this spring training, seeing some of the guys that we got, they're very, very good, and I'm excited to see what, especially from the bullpen, to see them go deep in some games and give us bullpen guys some opportunities late in the game.
Here in camp, we're now, I guess, almost to the finish line. So how would you assess how camp's gone so far?
I think it's going good. There's a lot of positives going on with the pitching staff, and we're putting up runs, so it's exciting. I think we're ready to get going to the season and get back to Arlington and get to work.
You got to catch Jacob on Monday, right, in the backfields. What's it been like kind of getting to develop a working relationship with him?
Yeah, it's been great. When you bring a guy in like that that's going to head your rotation, it's special. He looked amazing on Monday, and excited to see where it goes from there.
Were you able to kind of take a look around and recognize the scene on the backfield? Seems like something that we don't get too often there around the Nolan Ryan field.
Yeah, I think he's a once-in-a-lifetime talent, and I think you see that from fans. They notice that, and that's awesome. And just the support from the fans is huge. And you see that. I think the fans are excited, and they should be. And I think he put on a good show for him, too. So,
What has the process been like for you and Mitch and Sandy and all the catchers, and where do you feel like you guys are in terms of adjusting to some of the new rules that obviously have a big impact on you guys?
Yeah, I think we're doing good. Obviously, there's some kinks that still need to be worked out, but it's going well. I think the pitch comm is huge for us, and I think just getting on the same page with the pitchers is going to help us because, like I said earlier, 1 or 2 shakes and you're kind of stressed with time. So as good as the page we can get on with the pitchers, the better shape we're going to be.
Jacob deGrom, Andrew Heaney, Nathan Eovaldi, these are 3 new guys in the rotation. You always, as a catcher, have a lot on your plate. How much more difficult is it, do you feel like, to prepare for some of the non-catching stuff and stuff in the box when you've got to learn so many new pitchers?
I think it's just having a good balance. Just not putting all your eggs in one basket with these guys and spreading out your time. Just getting here early in the mornings, getting to talk to these guys, that's been a big part of it. And spring training is just, you got a whole bunch of time to get your work in. So there's no lack of that. And just really just building these relationships before we step on the field is huge.
Do you think you'll hit 100 home runs this year?
Probably not.
But maybe 90?
Maybe. We'll see. 100 is a little much, but maybe a little more than 20.
Would you like Aaron Rodgers to retire or get traded to the Jets?
Retire. I don't want to see him. The Bills, they have enough on their plate. So.
I'm ready.
Zeke, how's camp gone so far?
Bien, gracias a Dios, muy bien.
Really good. Thank God.
What's it been like moving around the infield and the outfield? How are you getting used to just playing a bunch of different positions?
¿Y cómo te sientes jugando diferentes posiciones?
Muy bien, gracias a Dios. Más oportunidades y estoy haciendo lo que me gusta, dando lo mejor de mí para ayudar al equipo.
Yeah, thank God, number one, but he really enjoys it because there's more opportunity for him, and it gives him more chances to show what he can do.
I know you were a part of big league camp last year, but now that you've made your big league debut and have big league time, what's it been like coming back, understanding what it's like to be a big leaguer day to day?
¿Cómo tú te sientes sabiendo que estás en la Grande Liga ya de una vez, ya que estás aquí, cómo se siente, si está diferente para ti o si estás cómodo?
Se siente bien, no siento ningún otro síntoma que no sea agradecido con el equipo y con Dios. Y estoy aquí dando lo mejor como siempre y tratando de disfrutar.
Yeah, he doesn't feel any different. He just feels really comfortable right now, and he's just doing what he loves to do, and he's thankful for the opportunities that the team has given him.
Who are some of the guys who have helped you along the way, whether it was last year in camp this year, kind of put their arm around you and served as mentors or leaders as you're trying to find your way?
Yo estuve hablando con todos los muchachos, todos me ayudaron en todos los sentidos, estuvieron apoyándome, ellos nunca me dejaron solo.
All his teammates always are willing to help him out and try to give him the best information possible so he can succeed at this level.
Do you have the best curls on the team?
El pelo.
Nah.
Good. How was winter ball?
That was good. Yeah.
Why was it good? ¿Por qué?
Porque estuve trabajando los picheos del medio hacia afuera, estuve haciendo ese tipo de ajustes y estuve experimentando una nueva posición para mí, ¿sabes? Y ya me siento más cómodo.
Yeah, he worked on his like pitches on the outside half of the plate and things like that, but it really kind of helped him come into the season prepared.
Play center?
Todas las posiciones.
He says he played them all.
Where are you most comfortable in the outfield?
No tengo preferencia.
He has no preference.
What's been the most difficult part about learning the outfield this camp? I know you played a couple of innings last year, but just being fully into it.
¿Cómo te sientes trabajando ya en el outfield?
Me siento bien porque ya tengo un tiempo entrenando en el outfield. En la temporada muerta estuve trabajando todos los días en el outfield para poder sentirme cómodo.
He's been working a lot since last year, you guys know that, and he says that he just enjoys doing it because he feels like he's getting better knowledge of the game, playing different positions in the outfield, so it's really helped him out.
You and Josh Smith sort of together in the New York system, here in Texas. Now you have the opportunity for both of you to make the opening day roster. Just to kind of share that with him, what does that mean to you?
¿Cómo te sientes sabiendo que ustedes dos se vinieron juntos de los Yankees y que los dos tienen la oportunidad de hacer el equipo para comenzar la temporada?
Me siento muy bien porque ya tengo mucho tiempo conociéndolo, lo trato como si fuera un hermano y siempre ha estado ahí apoyándome y yo trato de apoyar en lo que yo más puedo.
Yeah, they've both been together for a while and they've become really good friends, and he's super proud of him for what he's done and how much he's helped him to, they both help each other out, and he's really happy that, he's got that opportunity with him.
Oh, it was cool. Yeah, it was cool. Just part of the process, Can't really take too much stock in it, but yeah, it was a good day.
How do you feel about everything in the clubhouse so far? And is it different from last year? Is it previous years? How does it feel to you?
Yeah, we're on a good page, with the group that we've brought in and some of the returners, we're pretty clear that, it's time for this team to start expecting to win. We've had 2 seasons of underperformance that I've been a part of, and, now it's nice to have the team on the same page and roll out and expect to give it a shot every night.
How do you feel that in the clubhouse? I mean, is that, do the guys, do they talk about different things? Is there just a different vibe in the room? What is
it was a privilege to come up with Tampa. It was a privilege to have a playoff team at every affiliate and then be a part of, a couple postseason runs that maybe I didn't contribute to, but just to be around the attitude. And now it feels like we're definitely in a similar place.
Yeah.
How are you feeling defensively at first base?
I feel good.
Do you see the improvements that are you seeing that improvements throughout the process? Are you seeing the things you wanted to work on?
Yeah. Bees and I are on a pretty good page. Ragzell's helping out too, and then being comfortable with Marcus, Corey, and Josh, and having the group together is a good sign.
I don't know how much you do. We talked a little bit when Bochy got hired and what you knew about him, what you didn't know, but what have you found out now that you've actually been around?
Man, Bochy's just a baseball guy. He's won everywhere, and been in the big leagues longer than I've been alive. So he's forgotten more than most of this team knows about baseball. So it's cool to be around the commanding voice, and regardless of how long it takes him to get to the mound, he's on top of things.
Defensively for you guys, does it feel maybe more stable this year, knowing like this infield core is going to be like the infield core?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and Jonah and Mitch, Sandy and Sam, like there's so many options behind the dish and interchangeable options in the outfield too. And we've got a core group of players that should be able to go out and produce for the vast majority of the season. So it's nice to kind of have that in your back pocket.
Single hitter in this clubhouse, 1 through 70. Go.
Nope.
Cool.
How's camp gone so far?
Camp's been good. Yeah, guys are came in healthy and ready to go, and I think when it feels different. And this is one of those clubs they work together really well, and we can already tell that.
From an offensive standpoint, what have been some of the focal points that you all have tried to impress upon these hitters?
Yeah, I mean, I think it starts with just honoring the individual, so making sure they know what they're good at, and then that level 2 is just kind of figuring out what do they need to protect against. So always leveraging our strengths and then making sure we're kind of decreasing our blind spots.
For the guys who are back here for another year, second year, you've gotten a chance to work with them, you and Tim. I don't want to say how much easier has that been, but how much more beneficial is it to have a year under your belt, a relationship, seeing these guys with your own eyes, and now getting them back to continue to build?
Yeah, it's a big deal. I mean, the football analogy would be like we can do more at the line of scrimmage, right? We can give them more responsibility. They can take ownership. So, everything starts with trust and the relationship, and we are further along. And I think also we're just able to push the entire group a little bit further along by letting those guys lead.
And now for the new guys, what's that process like for you in terms of getting to connect and understand these guys so that you can help them as best as you're able to?
I think the benefit is we had an off season, so we could communicate. Right away we had an attack plan for Robbie Grossman, whether it's getting some of his left-handed side back to what he was doing in Oakland, or a Clint Frazier or Jankowski, and not to leave anybody out, but it just starts with communication, clarity of a plan, and then just developing that relationship.
How much conversation have you all had with the hitters regarding the shift rules that are now in place and how that may or may not impact their approach or their mindset?
A lot. Yeah, I mean, the pitch clock, the shifts, I mean, right away the goal was to alleviate any complaining about it and then build the best practices, best strategy so that we can be the best at it. So it doesn't change much of what we're doing strategically, but there's a couple little nuances there that may help a Corey Seager out or some of those guys.
For Corey and Marcus, they came in last year, a weird off season because of the lockout. For Marcus specifically, because he was very involved, on the Players Association side of things. The pressures of a big contract and moving your life to a different organization. For guys like that, just on a personal level, how much easier can year 2 be with that level of comfort that they might now have?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they'd be best to ask that question to in terms of easier, but I think in general, all of us, if we were, some guys were moving into a house during the season, they're having their houses built, and I think we all just, a general life, like that would add a lot of stress. So those guys are in a better spot. They're situated. I know they feel like they're at home right now, and I don't think any of us can fully understand what it's like to go through that. So I think giving grace to that and just knowing that those guys are, they're starting to make this theirs.
Who's the best soft tosser you've ever been around?
Seth Connor.
Who's the best batting practice pitcher you've ever been around?
Tim Hires.
Who's the best fungo hitter you've ever been around?
Ooh, God, that's a great question. Probably Ragsdale.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some good strategic picks. I like that. USC national champions the next 7 years or just the next 5 years?
Let's just focus on next year.
Okay, 1 year at a time?
Yeah.
Is that the approach? We can't do 5 years at a time?
Let's just be great next year.
That you were trying to get to a pitch count, or what was it?
Yeah. I don't know exactly what the pitches were, but I think just the inning got long, and so just kind of, you don't want to push it, I guess. But yeah. I think just getting that 4th up is probably a big deal, and then, again, I don't know what the total pitches was, but it was a long 3rd inning. So.
Yeah. How did you feel about it overall?
I mean, I felt good. I think I did a lot of good stuff. Just that 3rd inning, leadoff walk, and then just kind of nibbled on a lot of different guys. And that's just really not, it's not the name of my game. So that's frustrating because that's not kind of true to what I like to do and how I like to go about it. So that was a little frustrating. But I mean, the stuff felt good. I felt like I was, when I made mistakes down the middle, they got hit. When I made good pitches, they didn't get hit. So I think, that's always a good sign when stuff's playing the way it should.
You feel like you're pretty much on track?
I think so, yeah. A couple little tweaks here and there, but I feel good.
You talk about that 4th up physicality-wise. How are you feeling just, keeping up with the flow of spring training right now?
I feel good. I mean, obviously, last year was just so fast, so rushed, and then everybody came in hair on fire, ready to go. This year is obviously just back to normal, and it's a good pace. I feel good, feel in rhythm and everything. So I'm happy with where I'm at.
In these next few weeks, what is the one thing you're looking to accomplish, or what is it you want to figure out?
I mean, I think just having good command control, concept of what my pitches are doing, and kind of how I'm feeling with that. I mean, I'm going a little bit change up heavy just to kind of experiment a little more with that. It's a new pitch I didn't throw very much last year, and trying some things, throwing it to lefties, different things like that. So that will probably start waning as we get closer to the season. I'll start kind of really preparing and treating it more how best to get this guy out, as quickly, efficiently as possible kind of thing. So that just kind of starts rolling over, and so probably sooner than later.
How confident are you in the changeup right now? Is it still just a learning process there?
I feel pretty good about it. There's still some misfires in there, but I think the reactions and stuff that I'm getting from hitters, they're going to tell you whether it's going to work or not, and I feel pretty good about that. And I think it just works in conjunction with the fastball. If I'm, throwing that and being aggressive with that in the strike zone, which I normally am, that's going to make, both off-speed pitches better, but change up for sure.
How does it feel to support a soccer team that lost 7-0 in a match against Liverpool?
I mean, they're still 3rd in the table, so we're still looking good. So where are you guys at? Are you guys at the bottom still?
Yeah. You guys have been pretty trash the last 5-7 years. You have any thoughts on that?
I mean, it did just win a couple weeks ago, and I think we're looking good. Tottenham ain't really looking that hot, so I think they might get relegated. So.
There was a recent study in some magazine, I forget, that said that Manchester United is the worst sports franchise in the world. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I think Tottenham's a little bit worse because.
Well, according to the study in Man U.
Was that an article that you wrote?
I didn't write it, but it's out there.
You 1,000% wrote that article then. Everybody knows Manchester United is one of the top. So.
Despite your fandom, we think you're a good guy. What are your thoughts on camp so far?
It's been great so far. Probably one of the biggest things I love so far is just the atmosphere. It's just fun. Having a lot of fun, getting a chance to know deGrom, Eovaldi, Duffy, Will Smith, a bunch of these guys. It's been great, and I'm excited to pick their brains and just go to battle with them.
What's it been like with Mike Maddox? I know when you joined the organization, he was no longer with the organization. So first go around with Mike, what are your thoughts?
It's been great. Like I said, I got a chance to really work with him this offseason. We worked on a bunch of things and got a chance to really get to know him a lot. Unfortunately, I don't golf, so I can't golf with him to get a chance to know him better. But yeah, it's been great. He's real easy, real simple, straightforward, and that's one thing I love about having him as a pitching coach.
Do you not golf because they don't make clubs big enough for someone your height?
No, I just don't golf because I just haven't bought them yet. You know, that's the next step is to get clubs. Maybe I'll use yours. You know,
you could maybe use me as a club because I think like my height probably fits what you need from like a club size standpoint. So we can give that a try.
Yeah, probably so. But I'm still using Topgolf's clubs right now, so they've been pretty well so far.
You know, you're now a veteran. I mean, you look around the clubhouse. I mean, you're not an old guy, obviously, but you've been around now a few years. You feel like you've taken on any sort of responsibility as a veteran and a leader in this clubhouse?
Yeah, I think as one of the veterans, you always got to make sure you keep John King in line. So that's definitely one of the guys I got to keep in line. So no, I never saw myself as one. I'm just enjoying it, and you know, if guys got questions, I'm always open for it. But I'm still learning as well. And other than that, we're gonna have a lot of fun this year, and I'm just really excited though.
Is it nice coming into camp having a better idea of what your role might be? I know last year it seemed like there were questions. You know, how are you going to use Taylor Hearn in what role? I know nothing's final, obviously, but it seems like maybe there's a little more clarity. Has that helped you?
It has a lot. Still trying to figure out what is my role like in the pen wise, but I'm kind of just open for whatever. I mean, I kind of did a little bit of everything last year where it was like, even if I started, but even like from bullpen aspect, like come in for one inning or be that 3-inning guy that can get the save, you know, and even be, I'm open for that. So it's definitely a little bit clear.
Who's the funniest guy in this clubhouse?
It's a tie, so I'd probably go Dominic Leon.
Okay.
And Brad Miller.
I mean, you had a good all-around day, it seems like. How do you feel about what you did today?
First at bat was kind of grindy. Second at bat, hit a mistake, and then third at bat, I wish I could have back. I saw all three fastballs pretty well. Just missed. That's just baseball, but pretty solid day. Made a couple plays on defense, so got my work in for sure today.
How much do you feel like you've improved defensively over the last year?
I feel like I've always played a decent defense. Just kind of underrated because I'm really slow. So people said I really didn't play defense, but just continuing to work at it all the time, every day. Just trying to enhance my feet. That's the biggest thing, because if I get my feet in the right position, I'm going to get my glove in the right position. And I think that's kind of what I'm seeing is I've emphasized my feet a lot over the past 2 weeks. And I'm just seeing the ball better off the bat, and I'm getting myself in better positions. So there's always room for improvement, and I'm just trying to continue that.
You're a former shortstop.
I am.
You have plenty of range.
Yes and no. There's probably some balls that got through the hole at Texas Tech that shouldn't have, but we made it to Omaha, so that was the big thing.
Is it just one of those things that just kind of hits the corner? Is there something in the last week that maybe somebody came up to you and say, hey, maybe you should do this or do that, or is there something that kind of turned that?
It's just having dialogue. I have dialogue with Rags and with Bees, and I think all three of us kind of coming up with a game plan of how we're going to attack each day and coming up with a routine. just engage my feet, and that's pretty much all we've been doing, is trying to enhance everything that I've done before, but also trying to make it kind of boring. That's what they say. If you can make fielding boring and like they hit a ball to you and everyone's just like, oh, that's an out, then that's the best thing that can happen.
So we're, I guess you're about halfway through the camp.
I'm healthy. Heck yeah, I'm healthy. That's the big thing for me right now, is I'm healthy, body's feeling good. And that's just the biggest takeaway for myself.
So your first camp where you obviously last year the idea was that you would be the third baseman, but this year, like, here it comes. How prepared do you feel for, like, opening day? Like, here we go, full big league season.
Been there before, meaning like got that taste last year, so I know what to expect. It's not just going to be like an aha moment when you get there and you have all that rush of emotions. But the biggest thing for me right now is just leave no doubt to myself, to anybody else, that I'm going to go out there and be the player that I can be on opening day.
I'm not going to complain about a scoreless, but there's some things to iron out for sure. I still feel really slow to the plate. I'm working on that. But some things were good. I thought the fastball was thrown pretty well. Mixing a changeup for an out today. But with the sweeping slider, there's still some stuff to manipulate with it, so I'm still trying to figure that one out. But everything else feels pretty good.
Is this, even with the couple days off, are you where you should be right now in terms of tuning your stuff up?
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, as of spring training being the second start, things feel right.
Was the more usage of the slider in the last inning just trying to kind of fill it out for the last time?
Yeah, we really wanted to kind of see some good spin with it. The sweeping one wasn't that great, but I've been throwing both sliders this camp, so the short one was really good today. So just knowing I have that in the back pocket, it makes you feel confident. So I'm going to continue to kind of use that to the best I can and see if I can get the other one working too. And then we're really in business, so that's where I'm at with that.
You didn't stick around. You didn't stay over in surprise line to see Jacob.
No. He threw you in the backfield game? Okay, yeah.
It is 2 starts in early March, and I can't believe I'm quoting this, but the guys who would be in this rotation basically have a sub-1 whip, and the numbers have been great and all that stuff. Just what you see around here in terms of your pitching at this point, what kind of state of mind is a pitcher in?
In a really good, overall everything feels really good. I can't look at one area and I'm not really worried about it. The only thing that we should really do, and we can't control most of it, we can help, is just to stay healthy and pitch our game. I'm sure that a lot of guys are working on some new stuff right now. I know I am, but the stuff that carries you through the regular season, when that starts feeling really good, then you're in the right path. And I'm starting to get there right now. I know the other guys have been looking really good, so I'm fired up. I'm excited.
Was there any sense of relief, just because of the little back stiffness? Was there any sense of relief for you today?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that definitely kind of came out of nowhere. But for it to feel as good as it did the day after, and to get it out of the way and not have it linger, I'm very thankful for that. So I don't want to be that guy that gets hurt in spring training, the first 2 weeks. So it's always good to come out of it good.
What's the biggest thing you want to have ready by opening day?
That's a good question. I'm going to have to say that sweeping slider. I want that thing, feeling like it's in the A position.
How often did you throw that last?
Every time.
That was okay. So
that was like primary slider.
So the shorter slider is the addition.
Yes. Yeah.
How much is the pitch clock affecting you, if at all?
I'm not trying to pay attention to it really. I do like a faster pace. I feel like I pitch better with the faster pace, and things slow down, I kind of get out of whack. So I'm a big fan of it. I love, I feel like when I was in the dugout, I was only in there for a little bit of time, got back up and through, and I didn't feel like I got cold and hot again. I felt like I was warm the whole time, and it felt like a normal sport. I felt like I was playing basketball or something, so it was kind of cool.
Cole, how's camp gone so far?
It's gone pretty well.
feel good with where I'm at and feel healthy and body's feeling good. So, yeah, I'd say it's pretty good so far.
What's it been like working with Mike Maddox?
He's been awesome. Honestly, I really like his style. I like how he approaches, like telling you his thoughts, and, you know, he's straight to the point, and, you know, there's nothing, he's not holding anything back.
From a player standpoint, there are obviously a lot of veteran starting pitchers on this side of the camp in this clubhouse. Who are some of the guys that you've kind of gravitated towards, who've put their arm around your shoulder?
You know, I've gotten close with Sabors. He's been close to me in the locker room for a few years, and then Eovaldi has been really good to me. He's helped me out a little bit with my full motion and kind of telling me what he sees about it and what I could change or improve on. So, yeah, those two guys have been huge for me.
With Eovaldi, it seems like anytime someone's throwing a bullpen, he's there. You know, you see him standing in the background. How much does that help, having the support of someone like that, even if you're not talking, just the fact that he's there watching you do your thing?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, you know, he's been in the game for so long and he knows so much. Like, if he were to tell you a few things, it could help tremendously in your career. And, you know, he's been really cool just to, like, be around. He's really friendly, really nice, and, you know, he's not a guy that you're scared to go up and approach. Like, he's really approachable, and, you know, like I said, he's been really helpful.
What were some of the points of emphasis for you this offseason?
Just cleaning up my mechanics a little bit and getting back in the strike zone with all my pitches, and, you know, just kind of being on attack. So I cleaned up my arm action a little bit and added a new pitch. So just been working on that and trying to go from there.
Who's the best card player in this clubhouse?
Myself.
Okay, who's second best?
You know, it's so far between, but I'd say Spores.
Who's got the best mustache in this clubhouse?
I'd probably have to go with Cole Ragans.
Okay.
You know?
Even though he's kind of got the parting of the C's in the middle, he didn't grow anything right here. You have it filled in a little bit.
Not really, but, you know, he came in with a strong one. I'm still working on mine, so I've been trying to get back to where I was, but he came in with a solid one. He's been keeping up with it.
Golf course you knocked out this offseason that you hadn't played before?
Probably out here, I'd say Desert Mountain. I had a friend that worked there. He was doing ballet, so we were able to get out there a couple times, and unbelievable views and great course.
Hit him straight that day?
Absolutely.
All right, there you go. All right, Bubba, how's camp gone so far?
It's going good, man. Like I always say, it's always good to be out here, you know, with the best of the best, just showing what I can do and helping the team win any way I can.
Has it been different for you this year, now that you have some major league experience and maybe you are comfortable knowing what it's like playing as a big leaguer?
A little bit, but, you know, I'm still just getting in here trying to learn everything I can to be the best player, you know, I can be.
What was the focus for you this offseason? What were the things you wanted to work on?
Really, I always try to work on all my game, man. Everything that I can do that I, you know, put forth effort to, I want to be the best at it. So really all my game, man, day in, day out.
A lot of guys think you're really slow. Do you think you'll ever get speed as a part of your game?
Yeah, you know, I work on that all the time, you know. It just don't – I got to work on that too, so.
We always talk to players who play infield and outfield, the challenges maybe of carrying multiple gloves. For you, playing center and then playing in the corners, is there any added challenge in making sure you're sharp in both areas, or because it's all in the outfield, is it a little easier?
Yeah, it's different, you know, for different positions, how the ball is going to tail or whatever, you know. But I try my best when we're doing BP, the shag live, to get some live reads, you know, before I go in the game.
What's it been like with Bruce Bochy here in this camp?
Oh, it's good, man. He's a good man. And we're going to do what we can to win for him each and every day, I feel like, you know. All the guys in here love him, so we're going to do what we can to get a win.
Who are some of the guys, whether it was last year when you came up or here in camp, that you sort of turned to, you know, either conversationally for some guidance, or you just kind of observe and learn how they learn and watch how they go about things?
Oh, yeah, I observe, man. I try to take every little thing from, you know, all these guys, you know, because they've been here for a few years now, and I just try to ask everybody. You never know what you'll learn, you know, asking these guys in here.
If you were a fish, what fish would you be?
If I'm a fish, well, I love to catch some reds, man, so I'm going to do a red.
Just a red fish?
Speckled trout. really anything. I love fishing, so I'll be any fish.
Is there a fish you have not caught that you really want to catch?
Probably a marlin.
Okay. Who in this clubhouse do you think has the skills to be a good fisherman? Been so far?
It's been nothing but amazing. I've been learning a lot, and then playing good. So.
You're always happy and positive and smiling. Where does this come from?
Honestly, I'm just happy to be here. I didn't expect to get invited to big league camp, so I'm happy to be here, and I'm making the most of it.
What's the biggest non-baseball perk? Is it the food? Is it the extra space in the clubhouse? What's like from a non-baseball side? What's the best part?
I'll say the teammates and being around the veterans. Just picking their brains and seeing what they do off the field and their routines has really been helping me.
Who are some of the guys who have kind of been mentors or sources of guidance and wisdom for you?
Eovaldi's been a big mentor. Just seeing how he goes about the game every day and his mindset, he's always happy and he's always cheering everybody else on. So just seeing that makes me want to be a better teammate myself.
Some guys come to camp and, Corey Seager, he's not necessarily fighting for a spot on the roster. For you have an opportunity to, maybe make the team, make an impression as the season goes on to get the call-up. So what's it like for you having that sort of, carrot dangling in front of you?
Honestly, I'm just trying to show what I have and show what I'm made of. I know I probably won't make the team out of camp, but just showing the coaches who I am and showing them what I can do.
Is it fair to say that it's a goal of yours to be up here, be at the big league level at some point this year?
For sure.
All right, best hair on the team?
I'm biased. I'll say me, but I'll go with, let's see, who we got? Probably Josh Smith.
Josh Smith. How much time do you spend on your hair?
Not a lot, honestly. I just wake up and go.
It's just naturally in place?
Yes.
Who do you think spends the most time on their hair?
Definitely Josh Smith.
Who do you think spends the most time on what they're going to wear every day?
I would say Kumar.
Okay, all right. What's it been like working with Mike Maddox?
It's been great working with Mike. He's been he keeps things really simple, and that's how I kind of like it. So learning a lot from him and Greg has been really helpful.
Bruce Bochy, first year as a manager here, obviously a pretty impressive track record. What's it been like interacting with him?
Everything has been good. Everything has been straightforward, and you could tell everyone has a winning mindset, and it's a different shift in the Rangers this year.
Who are your favorite players growing up?
My favorite players, I'm going to have to go with Francisco Lindor and Tim Anderson. I was a position player all throughout high school until my senior year, so I grew up idolizing shortstops and position players. So,
have you gotten a chance to meet either of them at some point, just crossing paths?
No, I haven't.
Or one day maybe you can strike them both out?
Hopefully.
Dustin, how's camp gone so far?
It's going well. It's been a lot of fun. It's sweet hanging around everybody and just learning a lot, taking it day by day, and having a lot of fun.
Being on the big league side, what's the biggest non-baseball perk? Is it the food? Is it just the extra space in the locker room? What would you say?
Extra space is sure positive, but biggest thing is probably just being around the older guys, just seeing what they do, how they go about their business, and just taking little things away.
Who are some of the guys that you've, in conversation, learned a lot from?
Couple guys specifically, Marcus Semien and Brad Miller.
What about them have they been able to influence you and I guess your growth?
Just small things like the way they go about their routines, or maybe just being in the dugout with them, just small things they do during the game, or just small talking baseball and just being around them.
For you, we've seen you play the outfield, obviously first base. What's it been like for you, I guess, having to play multiple positions, and especially with the outfield, continue to get experience out there?
Yeah, no, it's been a task, but I think just showing versatility, it's a good thing, just being able to play multiple positions. It's not easy, but it's something I definitely think I can learn to do, be an everyday corner infield, outfield guy. But it's definitely good to know to play multiple spots.
What about Bruce Bochy? What's it been like being a part of a camp in which he's the manager?
It's been a lot of fun. You can tell he knows a lot about the game, So just whenever I can, just talk to him, take a few things away from him. He's definitely a great baseball mind.
Have you shaken his hand yet? Have your hands just been swallowed up by his hands?
Yeah, I thought I had a big hand until I shook his.
It's pretty nuts. One thing that's, I think, been really neat for a lot of people is in the back half of games when the starters come out and guys like yourself and Evan Carter and Luis Angel Acuna are in there, you kind of take a look at the future possibly. Have you at all taken a second to look around and say, hey, you know, we could be a part of the next wave of what this organization's all about?
Yeah, it's definitely a thought in our minds. We'll go out there, just play with the guys. I mean, it just feels like a game when we're out there, but it's nice to take a step back and just think about that.
Who's your favorite Dustin?
Oof, growing up, Dustin Pedroia was one of my favorite players, so got to go with him.
I was thinking you'd either go with Dustin Pedroia or Dustin Johnson.
Dustin Johnson, he can sure hit a golf ball, but I'd have to go Pedroia on that.
What's your golf game like?
Non-existent. I mean, it's fun out there, but I'm not the best golfer.
Why was this the right fit for you?
Just, I don't know. It's just my agent handled all that stuff. You know, I was obviously wanted to come here out of the list of teams I had. I've played for Bochy before. I know what kind of guy he's like and what kind of manager he is. So yeah, I was excited to come play for Bochy.
Okay, so what was your experience like with him in San Francisco? What type of manager is he?
He's old school. You know, he kind of lets us have the clubhouse to ourselves. He lets the players, you know, run the clubhouse, and you know, it kind of stays out of the way. But his door's always open. He's always been honest with you, and will let you know exactly how he's feeling. And he's old school. He trusts his gut sometimes, and sometimes he gets burned, and sometimes he looks like a genius. But at the end of the day, you know, he's going to go with what he feels like.
And your locker mate, Mr.
Old Duff.
Duffy,
Yeah,
seems
old
like
Duff.
a familiar face.
Yeah, me and Duffy were across the street. I think the last time I was here was 2012 when I was a Royal, and me and Duff were over there. I just ran into Brett Hayes, who was also another Royal we were with together. So yeah, it was kind of cool. He was actually the first guy I saw yesterday after I was doing my physical and MRI and all that stuff yesterday, and I pull up to the hotel parking lot, and here comes Duff, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me, man. You're the first guy I see. But yeah, it's good to see him.
Yeah.
Well, when Bochy did get the job here, did you express to your agent, look, I mean, I had success with this guy. I'd like to try and work with him again, or do you just let it play out?
I just let it. I have never been the guy that talks to my agent every single day. I might get a phone call once a month, and I'm okay with that. He does all of that stuff, but yeah, he knows I like old school managers. You know, I'm kind of an older guy now, and I like that. You know, I get the computer stuff these days, but it's refreshing to have a guy that trusts his gut sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't go his way, but he can live with it, and he'll answer the questions for why he didn't do it. You're right here, Duff.
In terms of handling a bullpen, he's got a very well-earned reputation for being good with it.
Mm-hmm.
I know you just said he trusts his gut a lot, but there's also more to how he handles it. You know, what do you feel like he does well in terms of handling a bullpen?
He listens. I think he listens to his players. I've had days where I've knocked on his door and be like, "Hey, Boch, like I need some action today." Okay, you're in there. I got you. And there's been days when he's come to me, you know, in San Francisco. I think I've thrown 3 days in a row. Maybe he's like, "Listen, grab a bat. Like you're not going to pitch today. Sit down and watch the game." And you're like, "Okay, like." You've got to respect his decisions those days, and he respects your decisions. Now, if you keep knocking on his door and giving it up, that's a different story. But as long as you are honest with him, he'll be honest with you, and you know it works out well.
What about Mike Maddox? What have you heard or know about him?
I know he's a really good pitching coach, and I mean that's really about it. I've been in the National League for a while, so I haven't gotten to see him much, but I've met him already. I'm excited to work with him. Everybody I've talked to, you know, tells me, you know, how good he is, and he's the guru and all that stuff. So, you know, I'm excited to work with him and see how it goes.
Playoffs kind of follow you around or whatever. Is that another reason to come here? Does this look like a club that has got?
Yeah, they're definitely. You know, being in Houston, seeing these guys at the end of the year, I think 2 or 3 times towards the end of the year. You could tell they had something brewing here, something going on. They look like they got along and they meshed well together, which I think is a huge key to winning. You've got to enjoy being around each other.
So yeah, hopefully I can keep that streak going. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, we'll see if we can do it.
Does do you still carry the old closer's glove around in your glove bag?
The closer glove?
Yeah.
What's that?
Just in case anybody asks you to close again.
Oh, I mean, sure, if they want me to, yeah, why not? No, but it's just a regular Rawlings.
No, I know. I was just being a smart ass.
Yeah, I caught on to that. No, I don't know what's going on. I mean, I talked to Bochy this morning, but that's about it. I know I'm throwing a bullpen today, and we're going to go from there.
But you feel like you still got that to offer.
Yeah, for sure. I enjoyed doing it. I don't know why. The ninth inning can be a little crazy sometimes, but I got lucky as a young guy and set up for Francisco Rodriguez for 3 years in Milwaukee, and I'd have daily conversations with him every night of how our innings went, why we did this, why we did that. So yeah, I don't know if I've always thought along those lines just because he was always in my back pocket talking to me about it. But yeah, I enjoyed doing it.
Beginning of camp, we're a few weeks in, a week or so games-wise. How you feeling so far?
I feel good. Can't believe we're already a few weeks in or whatever it is, but feel good and just happy to be a Ranger and happy to wear this uniform.
I know, when you're new to a team, but you have a whole off season, maybe that helps you meet some guys, off season workouts. You kind of joined a little bit later. How's that process gone for you? Just getting to know the guys and fitting in the clubhouse.
Well, luckily I played with a lot of the guys in the clubhouse, and they welcomed me with open arms. And like I said, I couldn't be more happy to be back in Texas.
One of the numbers that always has stood out to me, at least the last couple of years, 98 walks a couple years ago. I know it's spring training, but we're already kind of seeing that play out, the plate discipline. Where does that come from for you?
Just having a plan every time I go up to bat. Trying to get a good pitch to hit, knowing what the guy on the mound's trying to do to you, and just have a quality at bat and having a bat for the guy behind you.
What does that mean, having a bat for the guy behind you?
Just trying to build. If the guy in front of me has a good at bat, the better chance that I'm going to have a good at bat. And if I have a good at bat, the better chance the guy behind me is going to have a good at bat, and better chance we're going to have success as an offense.
We've asked a lot of the pitchers about Mike Maddox. What can you share with us about Tim Hires and your experience with him, working with him so far?
It's been great. We've been in the cage just grinding, and they've been so good to me and helping me every day. And I can't wait to get to Dallas and show what I've been working on.
I think I asked you this on the radio side, but for the cameras, who's winning the battle between you, Marcus, and Josh Smith, and who gets here first every morning?
I don't know. The captain, Marcus Semien, he gets here pretty early. He beat me today, so I'll leave it at that.
And then last thing, Robbie, you're a veteran. Bruce Bochy, obviously, from a managerial perspective, is a veteran. We just heard from Will Smith, and he talked about how Bochy does a great job of letting the veterans kind of run the clubhouse. What is your experience with Bruce been, just from that standpoint, the relationship between player and manager?
It's been great. Excited to play for him. He's just let the boys play, and couldn't be more excited.
Who has the best beard on the team?
Best beard, that's tough. There's some staff that has some great beards in this team, but I mean the facial hair on this guy is second to none.
How's camp gone so far?
So far, so good. Really enjoying a lot of the veterans, just hanging out with them and kind of picking brains and trying to figure out some stuff. It's been fun working with Greg and Mike and trying to just make the most of my opportunities.
Yeah, Greg Maddux, obviously, Hall of Fame pitcher. Now Mike's going to be here long-term, Greg here just for the spring, but what have your experiences been with Mike so far?
So far, they've been great. We've been sitting down doing reviews of games after outings, talking with Greg on, pitching in or different philosophies and kind of trying to pick their brain on, okay, what do you see on this at bat? What do you see when I throw a ball here? And trying to just learn from what they see with all the experience they have and translate it to, making the right pitch the next time I face the guy.
You mentioned the veterans. Who are some of the guys that, you've kind of attached yourself to, or guys who have, provided some wisdom that have helped you?
Sure. Ian's been big on, not necessarily directly to me, but just generally listen to conversations he has. And then been hanging out with Dom and Zach Littell, Jacob Barnes, so some guys that have some time and just really just getting to know them and watching how they go about their business.
You're a side armor. Not a lot of guys, it seems like, around the league are these days and not really here in this clubhouse. So, we always hear like lefties talk about, hey, like Martin and Cole Ragans can share some advice. But is it tougher for you because there's not that guy who's also a sidearmer that you can go, hey, like, what do you do here, or how does this work, or is it interesting talking to guys who have all different types of pitching styles?
I think both. It can be difficult to find information. Like if I wanted to see how a new pitch would play, it's hard to go watch a guy and see how he throws it. I do have Darren O'Day's contact, so that's been big, bouncing ideas off him. He's got, he just retired, but he had such a long career and such a great career, and so it's been cool to ask him questions, see what he thinks. But it's also interesting just to see how other guys operate. Like you can learn a lot from anybody. It's the same type of stuff, just from a different angle. So I've learned a lot from just about anybody, both arm slots.
Okay, your major at Alabama is something like super smart. What was it again? Some engineering, aerospace, or biomechanical? What was it?
It was aerospace engineering and mechanics.
Okay, what was your idea? Like, if you weren't playing baseball, were you going to use that? And if so, like, what was the mindset?
Originally, I wanted to be a pilot. I wanted to join the military and be a pilot. And then as I started playing baseball, I realized I didn't like flying too much. And so then it turned into more like, okay, I'm halfway through my degree. I'll just go be, an engineer at, Lockheed Martin or Boeing or something like that, working with planes but not having to fly them. And then the better I got at baseball, the worse at school I kind of got. So if I had to use it now, I would want to do something in like the biomechanics lab or with the data guys. So at least using numbers and thinking like that, but staying in the game of baseball.
And then are you like a nervous flyer, or you just don't love it? Like, do we have to like watch out for you and like not get near you? What's it like on the plane?
I'm just not a huge fan. Not necessarily nervous. I just prefer to get in my seat and buckle up and take a nap and keep the anxiety to a minimum.
All right, Jonathan, how's camp gone so far?
It's been pretty good, been working on a lot of things with pitching coach and his brother, Greg. So it's been really good. Based on my results in the games, my 2 games hasn't been the best, but I'm trying to make the adjustments to the clock and all that kind of stuff. I was a low pace pitcher. Now I had to be a little bit more quick and all that kind of stuff. But just had to make adjustments.
How is that process coming for you? Do you feel like you're getting more comfortable with the clock, or is there a lot of work that you've got to, put in the lab to try and get more comfortable?
Yeah, it's something that is new for all of us. We can take advantage of it like the hitter does. And, yesterday was the first time that I can, see the clock and think what I was doing and all that kind of stuff. The first time I pitched, it was going pretty fast. And, yesterday was the first time that I feel that I was in control with the clock at the same time. So.
You mentioned Greg Maddux and new pitching coach Mike Maddux and working with both of them, but what can you tell us about what it's been like with Mike so far?
It's been really good, man. He's a really good person, and since day one, he just told me like, hey, we're gonna do this, we're gonna work on this, and that's what we have been doing since the offseason in Texas, and now we just pick it up a little bit more. And his brother is here; he's helping too. So, he's helping me with my 2-seam honor too, and my PFP and all that kind of stuff. So it's been really good.
Greg Maddux has a lot of Gold Gloves. Do you know how many he has?
18.
Very good. Wow. All right, 1 for 1. Bruce Bochy has mentioned a number of times he wants this to be a pitching-centric team. His World Series winners in San Francisco all had great rotations and bullpens. So what's it been like for you with Bruce Bochy?
It's been really good. We talked a couple times, and he's a great manager, great person, and I'm just looking forward to the season start to get close to him.
Does his voice scare you? It's a very deep voice.
Yeah, it's a really deep voice, and he's quiet sometimes, and then when he talks, it's kind of you can feel that voice, coming out. So,
who are some of the guys who have stepped up and maybe taken on a leadership role, either specifically amongst the relievers or just the pitching staff in general?
On the pitching staff, I talk a lot with Nate, Eovaldi, and Martin. I've been talking lately with deGrom too, and they're really cool guys, and we're just trying to be together in everything that we do, and I feel like that's one of the best parts on it.
Will Luka win the scoring title this year?
Say it again?
Will Luka win the scoring title?
Maybe.
Well, that's not a good answer. I need a yes or a no. It's not right the fence here.
Well, I mean, he's the top scorer right now, but I will say yes.
Okay.
Be careful because some guys are close and they can score too. So.
Well, and one of those guys is playing the Mavs tonight, Joel Embiid.
Oh yeah. So here we go.
Damian Lillard got a lot of good stuff, but I just need an answer. All right. How many playoff rounds will the Mavs go?
I hope they go to the finals, but they have to go through pretty good teams, and their defense is not being the best right now. But
been pretty bad.
Yeah, it can be better, but they can. That's a team that can score a lot of points. So let's hope they can do it.
Who is your?
They can score more than the other team. So.
Yeah, well, hopefully they can get some stops. Who's your favorite Mav other than Luka?
Kyrie.
Okay, Johnny, thanks so much.
I feel out there. Felt about normal. Slowed it down a bit when I got out there. Leadoff hit, worked the running game right off the bat, and then that was it. Yeah.
I know you were out here for the fall league, but did it feel any different just being in big league spring training and being here and being able to do that out there?
Yeah, it was a second time kind of being in that stadium, being in that environment, and I felt a little bit more official that way and comfortable, and definitely felt better throwing the ball down there.
As far as velo goes, you saw 93, 94. I mean, is that you just sort of kind of getting the work in, or is there any reason to be concerned?
No, I mean, that was a bullpen outing.
Okay.
So that was the first time coming out of bullpen in a long time, so I didn't know what was going to happen, but I'm glad I got guys out.
Yeah. When was the last time you came out of the bullpen?
Freshman year of college.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the successful spring look like for you out here?
Just getting better and working into the season, comfortable, and kind of knowing what I have to work on out here, moving forward.
You and Jack ever pitched in the same game before?
I don't think so. That was the first time. Yeah.
Hey, just when it comes to spring training, what have you learned so far, basically, just being here, being around these big league guys?
Work ethic off the bat, and they've been playing a long time, and they're doing the same thing as the young guys are doing, and finding a way to stay healthy, stay durable, and they come in and do the same thing every day. So that's big to see.
I've heard a few things about guys like Eovaldi, or some of the older, newer pitchers too, kind of being pretty good about talking with the younger guys.
Yeah.
Have you seen that too from some of the veteran pitchers?
For sure, they're very open. I mean, everyone's human. They walk around with a smile on their face, and they're there for anything that you need. So they're great people, great teammates. Yeah.
Jose, what's it like being in camp this year, able to pitch compared to last year when you were trying to work your way back to being able to pitch?
Feels good. I'm like 3 years. I've been in the spring training now, and it feels so good.
Coming back from the injury you came back from is never easy. It seemed like once you settled in, you were back to the José Leclerc from before the injury. How did you feel over the final couple months last year?
I feel really good. In the beginning, everyone remember how it was. I'm not that good, but I keep working and I get better. Like how you say, I get back like José Leclerc, so it feels really good.
You're going to leave here soon to go represent your country, the Dominican Republic, in the WBC. How excited are you for that opportunity?
I'm so excited, man. It's hard, and for me, from my heart, I say when you represent your country, it's a lot. So I feel so excited, and I cannot wait to get there.
Do you guys have the best team in the WBC?
I don't know, man. I know you guys have the good team as well.
The roster pretty good, though, in the Dominican.
Yeah, both teams, I think they're good.
This year, I think there's a lot more excitement. What's it been like for you in camp with Bruce Bochy and Mike Maddox and the new staff?
Feels good. Like right now, so far, we're good. Those guys, they know what they're doing, and that's something I said we're gonna be way better, and I hope we're gonna be in the playoff at least this year.
Do you want to close? You've said in the past that it doesn't matter. Is that something that's important to you?
It is important for me, but I don't care. Whatever they ask me to do, I'm going to do it.
How do we feel out there today?
Good. Yeah, it's good to get back out there, and felt good.
You and saying yesterday, you started off at Double A. It's not easy to do that. Going through last season, being in Double A your first year out of college, has that made this spring, being this environment, a little more comfortable, a little easier for you at all?
I think just overall it's been a lot more comfortable as a whole this spring. Being in big league camp, obviously last year with the lockout, the big leaguers weren't around. Just getting to know everybody, it was kind of a whirlwind. And this year it feels a lot more comfortable. I felt like I got a really good off season in, really productive. So I feel really good about where everything's at, and I was just excited to get going. So it's good to get out there.
What have you learned from some of those big leaguers that have been around you these first 3 weeks of spring?
Yeah, it's like an endless, bank of knowledge that we have in the clubhouse and on the field with obviously the Maddoxes, and even CY obviously had a great career and accomplished a lot of what I want to accomplish. And then you look in the lockers next to you, and there's guys who are doing it still, who have done it for the past 10, 12 years, some of them, and that's really cool. So I think I've learned a lot just trying to listen and quietly just observe as they go about their business, and that's been really cool.
Kumar said he hasn't come out the bullpen since probably freshman year of college. When's the last time you came out of the bullpen?
Yeah, college. I think freshman year I came out for 1 inning, but not much.
How did that feel? Was it just comfortable, regular?
Yeah, it's sort of controlled. I knew I was going to be in the 5th or 6th, so it's not like it was an emergency warm-up kind of thing. So as the game progressed, I kind of went through my routine, and it was good.
Did they give you any reason, because I know you were the probable starter first day, and they switched this morning, did they give you any explanation as to what was going on there?
No, I was never told that I was starting the game, so I was never under that impression. And I don't know, yeah, Cody had 2, so I think that makes sense.
What was the first pitch that you hit the guy?
Fastball. Second pitch. Yeah, fastball in, drilled him.
Got at it. That's all.
Your first outing of the spring, just 1 inning. At this point, how much of this are you evaluating yourself on? How much is just kind of get out there and throw and just get loose? I guess kind of how do you balance that?
Yeah, obviously all of us did what we needed to do in the off season to be ready, and I think I especially did that and felt really good coming into the spring. So I think part of that is kind of not there anymore, where it's like getting a feel, because I feel like I'm there. And now it's just going out and competing and not worrying too much about the numbers and the analytics, and just going out there and having fun.
Figured out a better way to ask my question. Your first game action of the spring, Kumar's first game action, other than fall league, and you guys are in the same game. Looking back to your time at Vanderbilt, is that meaningful to you for that to happen in to pitch in the same game, I guess?
Yeah, I think that's cool. In college, we had some days where rain delays, or for whatever reason we were pitching on the same day in doubleheaders, but I don't think we ever pitched in the same game. So obviously that's cool, and it's great to have him here, familiar face, and it's been special, and looking forward to where it goes in the future.
You'd be a great manager. Would you like to get into that when you're done playing?
I don't know. I think it's a lot of responsibility. I think obviously there's only 30 jobs out there in the big leagues, and it's crazy. But I don't know. I want to play. I like playing.
All right. So speaking of playing, you've been playing some first base. You've played first base before. You've played a lot of different positions. What's it been like getting back at first base, and I guess perhaps maybe being open to moving around this year?
Yeah, that's kind of what I do. I want to be able to fill a bunch of different positions, and I'm very comfortable doing that. Kind of filling in wherever needed. Season's long, things happen. But anything to kind of get my bat in the lineup, I'm open to, and really comfortable at first, and feels good getting back out there.
You're a veteran. You're now in your second year in the organization, so that first year meeting everyone, you're past that. From a leadership standpoint, is that something you think about, or just your personality naturally, is it something that materializes?
Yeah, I think it is nice. It does feel nice to be back, returning somewhere this year. It's great. A lot of familiar faces, a lot of things, you necessarily don't have to think about because you went through it last year. But we got a good group here. I think for me, I just try to
set a good example by how I carry myself and act. And then obviously, if anybody needs something and approaches me for some sort of, advice or wisdom or whatever, try to share, my experiences. But I think the main thing is, is kind of leading by example, making sure I'm handling my business in here, working hard, doing the right thing. And if we get a bunch of guys doing that, I think we'll be in a good spot.
With Bruce Bochy and some of the new staff, what's the camp experience been like so far?
Yeah, it's been great. Getting to know Boch and getting to know Will Venable and, getting to see Mike Maddox again and have him lead the pitching staff, I think is going to be invaluable. Yeah, it's amazing. Anytime, obviously, with Bruce's track record, he's a future Hall of Famer, getting him to believe in this project and kind of come out of retirement speaks volumes. So, yeah, it's definitely been a good camp so far.
Favorite Man City player of all time?
Aguero.
Favorite non-Man City player of all time?
Didier Drogba.
Favorite Tottenham player of all time?
Harry Kane.
Situation, why'd you end up deciding to come here?
I think obviously for one, the team's full of a lot of great guys. Obviously, a lot of names on the team and know what the team's capable of. And, obviously I thought that there was an opportunity to get some playing time here. And, my relationship with Tim Hires was a big reason I came here. And, ultimately I think Tim will help me get in a good spot to try to do what I know that I can do.
How would you describe that relationship? Where did it start, and why do you guys click so much, player-coach relationship?
I think I've known Tim since I was about 14 years old, so going on about a 14-year relationship. Went to high school with his son, lived with his son for 2 years while his son went to University of Georgia. So, you can say there's some familiarity with the Hires family, and obviously, Tim's a guy that at this point in my career, it's important for me to have people around that, I trust, people that I believe know what they're doing, and Tim encapsulates all of that.
What about a guy like Bruce Bochy? I know, we've only had one spring training game, and camp's only been going on for a week or so. But what sort of an impact has he had, or how have you kind of noticed the presence that he's had in the clubhouse?
I've enjoyed the interactions I've had with him. Obviously, I've had the chance to play for some good managers, and obviously I think Boch sits at the top of it as far as what he's accomplished. So. I think he knew what he had in this team before he took the job, so it says a lot about, what he thinks we're capable of, and, I think a lot of the players believe the same that he does, and just know that he can get the job done with us as far as we can get the job done for him as well.
All right, you're in the lineup today. It'll be your first action here in Cactus League play. What are some of the things you're working on other than just getting into a rhythm and trying to knock off some of the cobwebs?
I think for me it's important to establish pretty early in camp that, I worked on a lot of stuff this offseason that I'm trying to show, to re-show that it's a part of my game. I had some struggles the last few years, but, let's just say I'm past those right now, and I've had a pretty good early camp so far, and just hoping to go out there and hit the ball hard. I guess that's the one way to put it.
So, summary of day one?
Good, positive. Good to get back out there. Obviously, a little shaky in the first inning, but it's going to happen. Just trying to get out there, get my work in, make sure everything works. Obviously intensity's up a little bit, so I want to make sure everything's where I want it as far as cues and all that. Felt great.
Are you trying to throw a splitter this spring, son?
I'm not.
You're not. Okay. I thought somebody told me that.
It was an idea, and
it's an idea that went nowhere. Okay,
it went nowhere. Exactly.
You didn't throw any today.
I did not.
The idea of what do you take out of that first inning?
I think pitching from behind is a lot harder than pitching from ahead. So, that's the one thing we talked about between innings is, the guys that I got ahead of, I got out pretty handedly. The guys that I fell behind, I made it a little harder on myself. So, those are things that, especially early in camp, we're trying to eliminate throughout, through the end of camp, so it doesn't happen, when the games start meaning something. So, just trying to get ahead of as many guys as possible and
clockwise. Any
get
thoughts?
rolling. I liked it. I liked the pace of play. I liked You know, I went and chased a foul ball to the dugout, and they didn't start it until I got back to the back of the rubber. So I think it's good. I think I was caught with a runner on base once where we had 1 second left, and I had to get it going. But and we've been practicing with it. You know, it's not my first time seeing it. We've had it in bullpens. We've had it in live BPs. You know, I think we had it a little bit last year when I was in Round Rock. So it's just something new. Everybody's, you know, change is always going to make some people uncomfortable. And but yeah, I felt good with it.
Did you throw a lot of sliders? It felt like you were throwing a whole lot.
Good amount. I think it was working the best today. I commanded it probably better than my fastball. You know, able to get back into the count there with Isbell with 2 back-to-back sliders and then put him away with a fastball. So, you know, I wouldn't say any more than usual. That's a good pitch for me. It always has been. So, yeah.
What was the pitch to Vinny?
It's a fastball. It's fastball up. You know, 2-0. Good hitters hit bad pitches, and again, you fall behind a guy 2-0 and give him a cookie. He's going to do his job and put it where it's supposed to go. So.
Dumb question, but since we're on rules changes and all that other stuff, and
yes.
On the pickoff throw, anything new, different, just an errant throw?
It's an errant throw. Yeah, first, you know, had to get that one out of the way, right? Just yanked it a little bit, trying to be a little bit too aggressive. I know Witt's a very good runner, and just tried to do a little bit too much there.
In all the fielding drills you guys have done, have you worked, I know how stupid this is going to sound, but have you guys literally worked on pickoff throws?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So throw-overs.
Oh, yeah, we've been throwing the bases, pickoffs, everything. Okay. Oh, yeah.
As far as the other thing, the shift, do you think that'll help you or be a problem?
I hope so. I hope it helps. You know, I think we have kind of an emotional tie to getting a ground ball to a traditional position when the shift's on, and those hurt a little bit more. But I think overall the shift probably helped us out just as much as it hurt us. You know, now we're more traditional. We're limited a little bit on the shift, obviously. So we'll see. I hope it helps. You know, I hope it helps our guys on offense as well and score some runs.